This is a car I've really been looking forward to driving. It's Alfa Romeo's Tonale Veloce mild hybrid. Normally by now I've had a chance to evaluate a car and really get under the skin of it, and I've got a firm opinion. This time I don't. But I do have a firm opinion about the looks, and I think it looks stunning. Alfa Romeo has a really long history, and some of their cars have been achingly beautiful, like the 1960s Alfa Montreal, that little V8 coupe. And this colour is called Montreal Green to celebrate it, because that was my favourite colour in the Montreal. All of the Tonale range has these rather smart sort of tri-headlights, and they're smart matrix LED ones, so the ones that don't blind oncoming traffic. It's still got that shield grille, and Alfa Romeo have got a name for that. I just call it a shield grille. And all of these cars seem to have the Lusso pack, but I'll go into that a little bit later. The lights, they wrap around the side, and the familiar Alfa Romeo 5-leaf clover wheels, always a favourite. And the reason I say all of the Veloce Tonales have the Lusso pack is because this is part of the Lusso pack. There's push button locking and unlocking as long as the key's in your pocket. Push the button to lock, put your hand inside to unlock. And there's some really cute features too, like this, for example, the window that goes past the back of the door. However, it's all smoke and mirrors, because when you open it up, there's nothing behind that at all. And here inside you can see just that little bit that closes over the back. It's just there for decoration, but I think it looks brilliant. And at the back, this is really Italian. Everything from the Alfa Romeo and of course the Tonale badge. And these really sexy taillights. And there's a light bar that goes all the way across. And because this is a posh car, it's got an electric tailgate. You've got a ski hatch because of course you're going to be near the Alps. The seats go down 60-40. There's a spare tyre under the floor and a light and 12-volt outlet. And of course you can lock the tailgate from the back as well by pressing the little lock button. Means you don't have to schlep around the front to press the lock on the front. Getting in to the back is a little bit of an operation. And once I'm in, it is very snug back here. There's not a whole lot of room for a 6-footer. And with the seat set for me, not a whole lot of knee room either. But you do have a choice of USBs and some outlets. And in the middle, this absolutely enormous armrest with cup holders. I'm not going to lie, with the door shut, this does feel quite closed in, but it's still comfortable. And the view looking forward is, well, it's blocked out by this kind of tombstone seat. Once in the driver's seat, you really do feel like you're in command of all you survey. The Uconnect system, you'll be familiar with that. It's a peculiarly Alfa Uconnect system. Uconnect being the Fiat Chrysler system that they use in all their cars. The steering wheel set out, that's typically Alfa with the start button just here. There's the DNA mode selector, that's just here, that's for drive modes. And in the middle of that is the button that controls the stiffness of the shock absorbers, so you can have them soft or hard regardless of what mode you're in. There's a phone charger here and the radio control button here with the on, off and scroll for volume. And then of course the brake release. There's fixed buttons all around the side, and the thing I love about this is that those buttons stay there no matter what mode you're in, and you can always get back to the car systems simply by pressing one of these buttons down the side. Up the top you can tell that this is a left-hand drive design because they've got the sync and heated steering wheel buttons on the passenger side. It's just software. Why they couldn't have put that on the driver's side, I don't know. And that's the first thing. Put it back in normal now. And you can see it changes up here on the screen as well. Left to its own devices in normal mode around town, and I'll show you that in a minute, this is quite ponderous and dim-witted. And it's because it is a dual clutch transmission. The plug-in hybrid is a 6-speed automatic. And just between you and me, I think I'd rather that 6-speed automatic in this too. needless to say, it doesn't come with a manual. Dual clutch automatics, it confuses most people, but essentially what it is two manual gearboxes sitting beside each other, and in front of that a couple of clutches around a shaft. And those clutches decide which of the sides of the gearbox are engaged. One engages, the other one disengages, and some little fingers move along to the next gear that it thinks you're going to need. And that's why they're so quick, and that's why people use them. You might remember VW and Ford had trouble with dry clutch versions of that, but most cars with any power have a wet clutch version. I'm just assuming this 118 kilowatt Alfa is a dry clutch. I put it into dynamic and it makes the suspension harder, and it does go around corners like this one much better. Now, having said that, this isn't a racetrack car and it's not meant to be. But I will say one thing, putting it into D does make the transmission so much snappier. I want to talk for a minute about the driver's console. That is one large LCD screen, something I like very much. You've got to remember about the Tonale that it is the entry level into the Alfa Romeo world. A place once held by the absolutely awful Mito. The Mito was absolutely horrible, and it went to the great automotive bin in the sky. Thank God for that. But Alfa Romeo have made a lot of the steering for the Tonale. They said it's segment leading. And in normal, it has absolutely no feeling whatsoever. Absolutely none. It changes marginally when you put it into other modes, but only marginally. I'm just going to change the screen into one of the other modes. The battery mode, that's quite handy. It lets you know whether the battery's charging or not, and also the bar along the bottom tells you how much battery charge it has. It is a very small battery. The lights are in full automatic mode, so as we go into the tunnel, they will come on. If I was out on the open road, they'd also go into high beam, etc., etc. And like the rest of the driver assistance programs, it makes life a little bit easier. You'll notice I've got a little triangle out here. That's my blind spot monitor. That's active blind spot monitor, so that if I go to wander, it will bring me back into my own lane. Right. Another camera. The other thing that's really, really loud in this car is the emergency braking system. You get this really loud alarm. I haven't gone in to change the settings yet. I think it must be set to go early because it keeps going off all the time, but it sounds an alarm, says the AEB system's been activated, etc., etc. It's bloody frightening. Now I've slowed down and it's gone into EV mode. Let me just go and see what the battery's doing. Okay, the battery's almost fully charged. The little teeny tiny battery is almost fully charged. Alrighty, to wrap up. I've been driving this absolutely gorgeous Tonale for a week. I still don't know where I stand with it. I love the ride. Absolutely adore the looks. Someone wanting to get in, come on, quickly. Absolutely adore the looks. It is a beautiful looking thing. I'm just not sure about this drivetrain. Like all of the other Stellantis Group companies, Alfa is going to go electric. And there's plenty of hybrids across the range. I think there's 11 or 12 or 13 brands, something like that. I'm just not convinced that this mild hybrid is achieving anything. My fuel consumption is still 6.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Did you feel that hesitation? Then I put my foot down for a minute and nothing happened. Considering the price, perhaps the plug-in hybrid achieves more, perhaps it's a nicer drive. That's all this week from the Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce hybrid. I'm still in two minds and probably will be for the rest of my life. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. As always, hit like, leave a comment, and just over there to subscribe.